welcome to the lecture on bond premium and discount and bond purchase. So, in this lecture we will discuss about the premium amortization and also about the discounting schedule, and also we are going to discuss about the bond purchase. So, the premium is what we have seen that in the case of premium, the amount which you get B naught or B 0, that will be more than the value. So that way your premium is there. So that premium is recovered gradually throughout the interest payments, and the investor will not receive this premium price at redemption. Basically only the original redemption value is received in the final term. So, what happens that your recorded premium price on the investor book, it has to be reduced as the fraction of premium is received semi annually, and book value of the premium price has to be amortized and reduced to be equal to the original redemption value when the redemption data comes. So, what do we mean to say that he is getting that throughout the interest payments, not at one time, and that can be understood for suppose a rupees 3000 bond is there. So, if we take for example, we are taking a rupees 3000 bond. So, for a rupees 3000 bond, and if suppose it is at 6% and that is redeemable then in 4 years, and the yield rate will be certainly, as we know that in this case the yield rate becomes more than the bond rate. No, it is basically it is providing and it is purchased. So, it is purchased to provide. So, that is in the case of discount. In the case of premium it is a smaller value. So, purchased to provide 4.5% yield. So, in that case what we see that and you have the semi annual payment is there. So, if there is a semi annual payment, so what we can see that you have the interest rate at the rate of 6% and its semi annual value will be calculated, and then at 6%. So, it will be 180 or so, and its half will be 90 or so. Now, this semi annual bond rate will be 3%. So, semi annual bond rate will be your 3%. So, and the semi annual yield rate is half of this. So, it will be 2.25%. Now, the thing is that if you have to find the premium, we know that we calculate that premium, and the premium will be calculated as we multiply this redemption value, that is 3000, that is M, and then this will be done with R minus I. So, that will be your R is 3% and I is 2.25%. So, it will be 0.03 minus 0.0225, and then we are to get that factor, that is PV by FA factor for IN, and your 4 years is the time. So, PV by IF, that is FA factor, that is for IN, N will be 8 and I will be your that is this I. So, for that if you calculate 0.0225, so it will be that factor is basically represented as 8, and then you have 0.2 0.0225. So, this is nothing but the summation of 1 by 1 plus 0.0225 raised to the power t, and t will be going from 1 to 8. So, this factor is coming out to be 7.2472. So, if you do this calculation, then you are coming out to be premium amount to be 163.06. So, your bond price, so that bond price BP, that comes out to be 3000 plus 163.06, so it will be 3163.06. Now, what will happen that you will have the amortization schedule. This premium amount is to be amortized, and this amortization schedule will be there, and for that what we do is that you will have the difference, the interest and payment, and based on the yield rate you will have the differences, and that will be the difference which we will getting, that will be your amortized premiums, and all that amortized premiums together, they must come to 163.06. So, how we do this? So, we can have a table, and in that table what we do is this is your semi-annual term, So, this will be varying from 1 to 8 because it is for 8 years. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And then you will have the interest payment. So, this interest payment will be there for so the rate which is given like 6%. So, for that the semi-annual interest payment will be 90. So, this is for the par value, and that is with the bond rate. So, that will be your interest payment. Similarly, you have the yield, and yield will be basically it is nothing, it is about 0.0225, that is your 2.25% semi-annually, and that will be multiplied with whatever your book value of the bond is. So, that will be multiplied with that. So, so that will be calculated, and then you have the amortized premiums. So, amortization of premium is described in this table, and here you will have the book value of the bond. So, this is your 1, this is your 2, this is 3, this is 4 and this is 5. Now, if you go and try to see that you have the book value of the bond which you have calculated before this you have calculated here 3163. So, you should have one space here. So, here you have a 3163.06. This was the book value of your bond. Now, this interest payment which will be on the par value or face value of the bond, and that is your R, and R is 6%. So, for all these payments you will have 6% is 3000 into 6 by 100, and then also it is semi-annual. So, it will be by 2. So, it will be 90. So, in all these cases you will have 90 as the interest payment. Now, what will happen? This value yield which you get, it will be based on these 0.0225% of the book value. So, it will be basically 0.0225 and into 5. So, this will be multiplied whatever book value is remaining. So, based on that you will be calculating this yield, and the amortization premium. So, that will be the premium will be there every time, because that will be change in the interest what we calculated earlier also, and it is basically the summation of that. So, it will be basically the interest minus this this interest which you calculate based on the yield rate, and then you will have this value which you calculate, basically this 5 and 5 minus 4 will be. So, whatever amortized the premium is, amortization is done, that will be subtracted every time. So, what you see that if you calculate the 2.25% of this 3163, it will be 71.17. So, the premium amortization, amortization of premium is done, and that is coming out to be 18.83, and your bond value becomes equal to 63.06 minus 18.83. So, it will be coming as 3144.23. So, on the second semi-annual term, you will have the yield, that is coming out to be 0.0225 multiplied by 3144.23. So, that will be coming as 70.74. So, that will lead to the difference between the 2 and 3, that is amortized premium. Premium amortization is something like 19.25, and your book value remains coming to that is 3124.97. So, this way again you will get the 2.25% of this amount to be calculated here. So, that will be coming as 70.31, and your difference will be further more than this. So, it will be 19.69, and your bond value, book value of the bond, that comes out to be 3105.1828. So, this carries till the end, and you are supposed to get 3000 at the end. So, if you calculate, then it comes 69.87, and it becomes like 20.13, and this will be coming as 3085.15. Further, you can get 2.25% of this amount. So, that will be 69.42. Then your difference of 90 minus 69.42, that will be 20.58, and 20.58. So, if you take the difference of 3085.15 minus 20.58, that will be your 3064.57. Then again 2.25% of 3064.57, that will be 68.95, and you get the premium amortization of basically 21.05, and your book value will be this minus this. So, that will be 43.52. Then again 2.25% of this amount, that will be 68.48, and your this amount will be 21.52, and further you will get 3022.20.00, and in the last term you will have 2.25% of 3022, and that is your 67.99. So, this premium amortization is coming out to be 22, and you are getting 3000. So, this way what you see that you are coming out to this book value of bond at the end to be 3000. Now, if you look at these interest payment which is made, now this is altogether 90 made for 8 terms, this is coming out to be 720. If you add all these interest, this is coming out to be 556.94, and the premium amount which is there total, which we have calculated 163, that we get from here by adding. If you add them, this is coming out to be 163.06. So, we see that how this premium price of whatever it is there, how it is gradually reduced to the redemption value of 3000 by the end of 8th semi-annual term, and that is calculated to be 3000 in that case. So, this is how this premium amortization is being carried out. So, this is about the premium amortization. Now, we are going to discuss about the discount accumulation. Now, in this case of premium amortization, what we have seen that you had the larger amount of the that is reduced to the smaller value. Now, in this case the unlike in the case of premium price, you have the discount price is less than the face value. So, we are giving the discount, that discount value we are calculating first of all, because that yield rate will be larger. So, you will have the discount price is less than the face value, and but the investor would still receive the face value at redemption. So, the total deficit of the discount would be recovered gradually, and in this case because that your deficit which is there, that you will see that it will be recovered gradually and little by little through the interest payments by increasing the book value to increase gradually from the discount price until it becomes equal to the face value of the bonds on the redemption day. So, that will be somewhat in a different way in the case of this the discount accumulation. So, that also can be further seen that in that case. So, in this case you will start from smaller value and reach to the larger value in the case of the discount accumulation, and we will see how that occurs. So, that can be seen for suppose you have a bond. So, bond with face value. So, bond with you have face value of suppose 8,000 and redeemable in 5 years. So, redeemable in 3 years and at 5%, and what we see, but it is purchased to yield 8%. So, in that case here also we are taking the semi-annual case. So, what we see that bond rate is 2.5% semi-annually, and your yield rate is 4% semi-annually in that case. So, certainly when your yield rate will be larger, so you will have the discount coming up, your bond value will be decreasing, and in that case what we see that you have to calculate that discount amount, and we can calculate that discount amount to be like this, that you will have this discount amount, it will be calculated as the redemption value, that is your 8,000, and then this will be multiplied with 0.04, that is your semi-annual rate for the yield, that is 0.044% and minus 0.025. So, that is your this value of the bond rate, and this will be multiplied with that this will be multiplied with that factor. So, this will be A of 6. So, you will have 6 terms, and your interest rate is 0.04. So, this is nothing but your this factor is coming out to be 5.2421. So, you will have 8,000 into 0.015 into 5.2421. So, that is nothing but you will again get 1 by 1 plus I and raised to the power t, t will be varying from 1 to 6, and I will be 0.04. So, its summation will be coming out to be 5.24. Now, if you take that this amount is coming out to be 629.05. This is your discount amount what we get because of the increasing the yield rate to 8%. So, your that discounted book value, now that BD, it will be 8,000 and then it is your minus 629.05. So basically this is 7370.95 is, this becomes the purchase price. So your purchase price is smaller than the face value of the bond, that is 8,000, and that is why it is a case of discount. Now how this discount accumulation schedule varies, how that is going. So that can be seen. Again you have we do the semi-annual term. So you have the semi-annual term. So you will have 6 years, 3 years. So you will have 6 terms of for the maturity. Then you have the interest payment. So that is for using the bond rate. So this will be par into R. So that will be your interest payment. Similarly you have yield. So that yield is at 0.04%, and that is your 0.04% your book value, that is bond book value of the bond. So that will be your 5. So it will be again multiplied by this 5, that 5 will be, so you will have 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5, 5 will be book value. Book value will be book value minus the discount accumulation. So this is your accumulation of discount. So this will be nothing but 3 minus 2. So in this case you will have 3 minus 2. So this will be 3 and this will be your 2. So it will be 3 minus 2, and book value will be basically your whatever you get 4, and then you are plus 5. So that is book value which is getting here, that will be added every time. Now in this case what we see, that you had bond value of 8,000, and this rate was 5%. So semi-annually if you look at that interest, 8,000 into 0.05, so it will be 400, and that is for the whole year payment. So for semi-annual it will be 200. So for all these 6 terms you will have this R value, it will be coming as 200. So you will be starting with 200, no, not 2000, it is 200. 200 is the interest amount which is calculated using the bond rate. Now what we see, that you have the purchase price of the bond is 7370, and you have to have the yield. So that will be calculated based on the 0.04. So 4% of this. The initially you are taking, you are getting that discount. So that after discount it is coming as 7370.95. So 4% of that 7370.95, it will be coming as 294.84. So what you see, that this is your accumulation of discount is 94.84, and your book value becomes 7370.94 plus 94.84. So it will be 7465.79. Now again you have 4% of 7465.79. So that will be 298.63, and the difference will be 98.63, and this will be added, and it will be if you can see, it will be 7564.42. So again 4% of 7564.42, it will be 302.58, then difference is 102.58, and once added it will be 7666. So it will be 66.99, and then again 4% of this will be 306.68. So, difference is minus 200, that is 106.68, and what you get is again you add to that. So, you are getting 7773.67, then you are getting again 4% of this amount. So, that will be 310.95. 110.95 is the difference, and adding to it, it will be 7884.62. Finally, you are getting again 4% of this. So, it will be 315.38. 115.38 is the discount accumulation, and finally, if you add to this, it will be 8000. What is the face value what we started with. So, this is how this discount accumulation is calculated, and if you calculate the interest here, it will be 6 terms to 1200, and if you add them, this is coming out to be 1829 point 05. So, if you take if you add this also, you are getting this out to be 629.05. Now, this is nothing but the same discount which is being calculated here, and you are getting this 629.05 which you see here. So, this is how the discount accumulation is accumulation of discount is being computed in the case of the discount where you have the different different rate of bond rate and the this yield rate, and in this case yield rate is taken to be larger than the bond rate, and in that case you are basically giving a discount. So, that way we calculate that. Now, we wish to further mention another point that about the bond purchase. Now, what happens that in general it is assumed that the investor would buy the bond at one of the interest payment dates of the maturity time, but every time it does not happen necessarily to be. So, if the purchase is occurring at any day in between these established coupon days, then we need to know that what is the purchase price between dates and the quoted price. So, for that we need to know these purchase price between the dates. Now, what we see that for that you have to calculate the from the purchase price of the bond, and in that case the purchase price between the dates, if you calculate, that is known as BD. So, that is your purchase price between dates BD, that is your purchase price between dates. Now, in that case you have the B naught is given, that is your purchase price, and then that will be added with the portion of interest that is between the dates. So, that is YBP. So, this YBP, that is your portion of interest is there on this purchase price, and this is for the time between the purchase date and the day of payment before before it. So, that is your YBP, and this YBP, that is this is the portion of interest which is there. It is basically a function of B naught times I, and then it is multiplied with BP. So, so this is payment before it. So, that is BP, and this way you get this BD. Now, the quoted price, this BQ, this is calculated as the BBD, that is your before date, and minus IAC. So, this IAC is nothing but this is the interest on the face value. So, IAC will be interest on face value M, and this is for the time between purchase date and payment date. Before it. So, that is your BP. So, basically when we calculate IAC, this is nothing but this is M times R, that is your bond rate, multiplied by BP. So, this way we purchase these so whenever we take these purchase this bond between dates, between interest days. So, in that case we are calculating these values like that. Now, we can understand it with the help of an example. Suppose you have a bond. So, if suppose you have a bond, and this bond you are purchasing, and you have a bond of rupees 1000, and this is basically at 8% the bond rate is there, and this is maturing in 10 years on February 2020. So, suppose it is maturing, we are starting from February 2010 and it is maturing on 2020. Now, interest is paid. So, interest is paid on August 15, on every August 15 and February 15. So, starting from August 2010. So, this is so starting from August 15, 2010. Now, in that case, if you have to find the purchase price, so if you have to find purchase price and quoted price. So, for that the condition is if bond is purchased on December 15 to make 11% yield. Now, this is the, if suppose that is how you have to understand, and how to you have to see that what will be your price when it is purchased between the days. So, in this case what we see that if it is semi-annual rate, in that case since it is semi-annual, so your bond rate semi-annual is semi-annual bond rate becomes 4%, rate it becomes 4%. Now, yield rate is 11%. So, yield rate will be 11 by 2. So, it will be 0.055, it will be 0.004. Now, you have 10 years of time. So, n will be 20 and m is 1000 and I will be 1000 into 0.04. So, that will be 40. Now, if you try to the calculate in that. So, first of all you have to find the B naught. Now, B naught if you try to get in such cases, because you have the yield rate is more. So, you have to use the formula. So, if you use the formula, if you calculate B naught and you calculate for the yield rate interest, you are getting 820.72. You can calculate that. So, you will be getting this B naught, and that will be nothing but your interest rate will be 40. So, this interest amount is 40. So, 40 multiplied by that factor. So, that is your PV by FA, IN that is a summation of 1 by 1 plus I raised to the power t, and t varies from 1 to 20. So, that is your 11.95, and then multiplied plus 1000 multiplied by 1 plus I raised to the power 20. So, that is again coming out to be 0.3427. So, that comes out to be 820.72. Now, we calculated the values like YBP. So, YBP, that interest portion, that is before So, that we calculate, we know that YBP is calculated as B naught into I into BP. So, we have B naught calculated at 20.72, I we know that it is 0.055, and date, if you look at so that is your December 15. So, so this BP is coming out to be 1 by 3. So, because 3 months is there, so 4 months, so that is how you will have 1 by 3 coming up, and this altogether, if you calculate this BP, so this YBP comes out to be 30.09. Then you have the calculation of BBD. So, if you calculate BBD, as we know, BBD is calculated as B naught plus YBP. So, you sum them. So, this will be 850.81. Similarly, you can calculate IAC. So, if you calculate IAC, IAC will be, we have seen that IAC is calculated as M into R into BP. So, M is your 1000, and R is certainly it is 4%. So, it will be 0.04, and BP is again 1 by 3. So, this comes out to be 26.67. So, your BQ value, which we are intending to know, it will be BP minus IC. So, IAC. So, that comes out to be 824.14. So, this is how we are calculating these the bond purchase when we are purchasing the bond between the interest rates. In those cases, we are when we have to find this BQ, we are using these formulas and finding these values. So, we must be clear in these concepts while we are solving such problems, and try to solve more and more problems of such type, so that you can have more and more idea, and you develop confidence while solving such problems. Thank you very much.